Good afternoon, friends. The lecture today or the talk today that I'm going to be giving is about what we are going to do at Ekayan, or why do we need a seminar like Ekayan. Yeah? The mission at Ekayan for Dr. Shachindra, me as well as Jan Scholten, is to bring to you very simple maps of minerals, animals, plants. The mineral map we already have, but to bring forth to you plant and animal maps to make it very easy for you to prescribe these remedies. This is exactly what we are going to show in Ekayan. We are going to teach you how the classification of plant and animal remedies in nature reflects their homeopathic indications in a human being. And if you understand the map of classification or the map of why the plants and animals are put in a certain order, you will be able to make much more sense of the homeopathic indications. You will be able to, you will not have to memorize symptoms homeopathically. Once you understand this great, you will be able to place your remedies very quickly, very profoundly, and very easily. A system always helps you to bring order in chaos. And it also helps you to break down and access information and to find your way in a maze of things. Yeah? The first glimpse of bringing some system or bringing some pattern or grouping remedies is seen in the formation of the repertory. A repertory actually is the first glimpse where symptoms were grouped together, not symptoms, but remedies were grouped together under common symptoms. Now in the repertory, you see that remedies which have similar symptoms are grouped together. Yeah? Now beyond the repertory, as generations of homeopaths came, homeopaths started to see more and more groups. Yeah? I'm sure all of you, just as we have in our college days in homeopathy, studied groups of remedies, like the snake groups, yeah? Or the metal group of remedies, right? Or the spider group of remedies, or the carbon group of remedies, or the gases, or acids, or the natrum groups, or the magnesium groups. Now, we all know that all metal groups or all metal remedies or that metal group has to do with performance, has to do with strength, has to do with duty. We also know that this performance in the metal is always then compared to the metal in nature, is compared to this metal symptoms that we find in homeopathy come from the very quality of the metal in nature. Yeah? So now let's take spider group of remedies. We have restlessness, we have dancing, yeah? We have a constant desire to do something, yeah? A feeling of being trapped. These are common things known to spider group of remedies. Shamelessness, high sexuality. But when you look at spiders in nature, and this is how we have been taught, yeah, spiders in nature are similar. They are very restless because they belong to arthropoda. Yeah? So they are very, very restless in nature themselves. They trap their prey by making webs. They have a short life, yeah, and most males die after mating, so sexuality is a very big thing there, and they're very bright colored. Yeah. So you see these connections that the spider group symptoms has to the spiders in their source. Similar to acids. Now acids have a lot of exhaustion, but acids in nature are also very, very corrosive. Yeah. And so on and so forth. I can give you many such connections between the group of remedies and their sources in nature. But this means that this connection between the remedy and source and its proving symptom has been observed and has been utilized by homeopaths for generations together. It's not a new concept. It also means that a certain group of remedies can behave in a certain way. For example, the spider group, or the halogen group, or the metal group, or the carbon group, or the acid group. Which means that a group of remedies or a group of things that come from a similar source must have something common to each other in their source level as well as in their symptom level when we look at them homeopathically. So I would say the essence or the basic characteristics of a substance will always be there. It will always be expressed, it will always be consistent. Yeah, whether we are talking of that element or that thing in nature, whether we are talking about its scientific makeup, whether we are talking about its characteristics, or we are talking about its homeopathic indications. So that essence of that substance will always be reflected in all parts or in all fields. Yeah. And therefore, the more you know about a substance in nature, and the more you know about the classification of that substance, the more you will be able to understand its homeopathic indication, you will be able to understand and even predict its homeopathic symptoms. The other way around is also true, that the more you know about homeopathic symptoms, you will be able to know more about that element or that substance in nature. Yeah, it's vice versa. Now, for example, yeah, let's just take the mineral kingdom, because the mineral kingdom is very simple and you know a lot about it. It's so easy for all of us to know that argentum metallicum, yeah, the proving symptom for argentum metallicum and argentum nitricum is that they are performers, is that they have anticipatory anxiety, they have problems with expression to a large crowd, yeah, clergyman's sore throat. So they are performers, or they are shining in a way, but also that the element itself is shining in nature, it is silver. Or if you look at an aurum personality, which is a level 6 or a row 6, yeah, noble and very powerful metal, then the aurum personality has to do with a lot of responsibility, a lot of leadership, a lot of taking care of the people who are dependent on them, like a big father figure, a solid king. But that's exactly how the element is in nature. It's the most heaviest, it's right down in the periodic table, it is not affected by weathering changes, weathering forces of nature. It is a very strong, noble metal, like a king. So once you've, and you know, it is much easier to understand aurum that way than simply memorizing the symptoms. So you see, once you know the nature of that element, you automatically remember and understand its homeopathic indications. Nobody has to think of argentum. Nobody has to think of aurum. You know, I could wake you up in the middle of the night and you would know them, because you've understood them through their nature. And similarly, what we want to give you is understanding of every remedy like this in the plant and animal kingdom through their nature. Once you know that grid, once you understand that that description at the source, you will not forget your remedies. Not only that you won't forget them, but you will be able to spot them in your patients. Somebody could wake you up in the middle of the night and you would still be able to spot a symptom. You would still be able to spot a remedy because it's so clear and it's so well classified and it's so well understood through a scientific, systematic way. This is what we want to bring forth in Ikaya.